Hi, I'm Gordon Wedderburn, DJ, broadcaster, supporter of good jazz in the UK and one half of GW Jazz. I'm sat here in the secret lair where a lot of phenomenal music has been made by a musician, a composer that is seen as a national treasure in this country. His name is Robert Mitchell. He celebrates his 50th year around the sun, and he's going to do that in fine style at the world famous Ronnie Scott's on August the 7th. We had to come down, chat to the man, find out what he has done, what he's been doing, and how he's going to celebrate his 50th year at Ronnie Scott's. Stay tuned, don't go away. We're back and we're here with the man Robert Mitchell, and it is a pleasure and a blessing. Robert, how are you?
I'm good. You can see we're a little hot here, so this might be slightly longer than intended, but we're gonna do our best. You know how it is with the UK weather, so we've got to just be appreciative. But no, great. Thank you so much, Gordon, for doing this. So,
well, thanks for inviting us into the secret there, the sacred creative space.
Pleasure.
Now, 50 years around the sun, and you're doing it at the world famous Ronnie Scott's. For me, that is fantastic.
Yeah.
But let's go back a little. How long have you been in this business, making, creating, composing music?
I've been playing since I was 6. I've been composing since my mid-teens, and then in my later 20s, I kind of started again. Now with a view of having these tunes and songs be played, and to have them be played by an amazing bunch of people who I've worked with for, in some cases, more than 20 years now. So, and on these scenes, I guess it's coming up to 30 years. When I first got involved in the first bands I was in, which are Quite Sane, Tomorrow's Warriors, J-Life, further on to Keith Wade, and a lot of different people. So yeah, 30. Might even be this year actually. I think it's about 30 this year. So a long while for each of these different areas. Yeah.
I'm listening to some of the bands and collectives that you've mentioned, and most, if not all of them, are game changers. Quite Sane, J-Life, working with Keith Wade, the flutist and composer. In your 30-year career, you've held several collectives, there is the Robert Mitchell Trio, there is Panacea, Robert Mitchell's Panacea, there is the latest iteration, True Think, there's Robert Mitchell's Epiphany, and each are distinct, although they come with your, call it mercurial, but that sound, that Robert Mitchell sound. For me, looking on as a layman, what goes on in the creative mind and the spaces within that allows you to bring forth different projects? And why actually? Why is there a Robert Mitchell Panacea versus a Robert Mitchell Epiphany?
How do I answer that in short? Well, timing, the things and matters and experiences and thoughts and dreams that you're going through at that time with my music education. Yes, there were landmarks like exams, especially earlier on, but they were less so based around reaching a certain ability by a certain time. It was about if you've got an idea and it's going well and you understand it fully, we progress. If you don't, we're staying here or we're going backwards to understand it before we can add to and that may take longer. and you might be here, but don't measure yourself against this other person. That's because everyone's understanding different things in different ways at different rates. So that, I think, has come through in my love and preference, if anything, for bands and units that are such. We're working for, yes, partly fulfillment of vision and the dreams I have in the sounds, matters I've dreamed up. But at the same time, there's this beautiful thing, especially looking back on some decades of leading units, where it's the sum of all of our parts, and that leading to be something that collectively is greater than we could have imagined. Yes, there are lots of amazing individuals, but we can work together as tribes, as groups, as bands, as society, and as many cultured and many diverse and representative form of good. I hope.
I'm listening to you, and I'm gonna move.
That's a short answer. I can't. It's not easy, but yeah.
It's interesting. I'm listening to you, but I'm thinking about what is going to happen at Ronnie Scott, and I think we need to talk about that, because for you to be celebrating what is a monumentous time in your life and a milestone at Ronnie Scott's, world famous Ronnie Scott, and you're doing it in 2 sessions,
yeah,
2 of your collectives. It happens on the 7th of August, I'll say it again, at Ronnie Scott's. 2 of Robert's phenomenal collectives and configurations, musical configurations, will be right there out on display. And tell us more. What's happening on the day?
Okay, so the first of the 2 projects is Epiphany 3, which is a trio, and this features Salim Rahman on the drum kit, and great Tom Mason on bass, acoustic bass. We're going to have equally great cellist Shirley Smart, who is someone who I have known since this big choir project called Invocation. That was in 2014. That's when we first met. So she's going to join us for a few things, and if you are quick and you make it, so big incentive as well to come down to the trio set. We're going to have advance copies of a duet album that is coming out on the Discus label. Shout out to Martin Archer and all the folks working so hard. It made the process really amazing. The manufacture process has been so fast and so efficient. We're going to have a few there, so if you want an exclusive, please come down and do it. So it's not the launch, but there's a way to get this side of things out as well. So that's what we have: Epiphany 3 and special guest cellist Shirley Smart. That's the first show. Doors are at 5:30. I think tickets from £35. So be quick. The second show is with the band, my newest thing in effect, called True Think. Now, this features both members of the trio Epiphany 3, so that's Todd Basin on bass, electric bass and keyboards for this one, Salim Rahman drum kit and possibly some electric, triggers, samples, and we have the great Zayn Mohammed, phenomenal guitarist, multi-instrumentalist, and last but not least, Alice Zawadsky on the vocals, who also plays violin and is amazing multi-genre artist that bridges folk and classical and jazz and improvising in its wider sense as well. And yeah, myself lastly on keyboards. Being a child of the my age, so I might as well. Being a child of the 70s and 80s, I'm surrounded by images of George Duke and Vangelis and Herbie Hancock and Harold Faltermeyer and, you know, Howard Jones. So, you know, you're looking at these going, I played piano, I'd love to have a go and see what this is all about. So the Casio was the way into that, and this band also helps to scratch that itch that's been there for a long time. I played keyboards, you know, along the way, in part, but this is a deliberate attempt to bring that type of activity to be more, involved. So yeah, really looking forward to express more in that way with this group. And we are second on the 7th of August. I think we start at 8:30. I need to double check. There's so much information for that night. But the links, both links, they're separate links on the Ronnie Scott's website. So please check for Robert Mitchell, True Think, and Robert Mitchell, the Epiphany 3 as separate entities. I've had a little bit of feedback from somebody looking for one thing and they couldn't find the other. So they're separate sites, they're separate pages, but they're all within the Ronnie Scott's website. It's all August the 7th. So yeah, really looking forward to do this with everybody, and everyone's raring to go after such a long gap. You know, very exciting in rehearsals already. So that's it. Again, that's the short version. So
I'm sat here quietly listening to you talk about this gig and about the musicians. One, about the musicians. Two, about both collectives. And it seems that within the two sessions, it's just a broad range of music, phenomenal musicians. And either sessions that you attend, you're in for a treat. You know, the names you mentioned, Salim Rahman, Tom Mason, who I personally know are very talented musicians and have been on the scene for a while. You mentioned Alice Sawatsky, Shirley Smart, among others. Phenomenal stuff happening. Again, it happens on the 7th of August, 5:30 doors. Robert Mitchell's Epiphany is the first collective on. The second one, Robert Mitchell's True Think. If you know, please do come. Please get your tickets early, because as I understand, the tickets are going very fast. We have the Don Zain Mohammed, a musician that not a lot of people know about. But
we're going to change that.
Yes, it has to change. So come and find out about this man. Come and find out about Robert Mitchell. He'll be there, very approachable. Again, get your tickets in. Come down to Ronnie Scott's. It's post lockdown, so we're in freedom mode. You're free to move, you're free to enjoy, you're free to come down. Yes, still be careful, but be free. Come and enjoy the music freely. And you're in for a treat. Robert Mitchell's 50th year around the sun, celebrating at Ronnie Scott's. 2 concerts beginning at 5:30. You have your pick of either one or both, and I suggest that you get into both, because the 2 sets are so different. But the string, the thread, the theme, the music, the musicianship of Robert Mitchell is what pulls it together and is what will make it a fantastic evening of music. Robert,
thank you, Gordon.
Thank you
Awesome.
so much for allowing us into the secret lair, into the den, into where the creative process happens. And I certainly look forward to seeing you on the night. Ensure that you do come. Get your tickets early. Check out the Ronnie Scott's website. Get your tickets and come down. I'm Gordon Wedderburn again from GW Jazz. We are signing out, but you've had all the information that you need to do what you need to do now. Do it.